What is up, Simp League? Welcome to week one of the power rankings. After a very, like a mixed bag of week one, I'd say. Very confusing. Very confusing. A lot of things that I learned that I had no idea. I think people are definitely still getting used to the new format, and we're going to get used to doing the power ranking for it. Okan, you know who Okan is.
I guess.
And let's, and with that
I'm
being
not gonna introduce myself again. People should know who I am.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out like a new thing to say every week to introduce ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, same two guys talking about Pokemon pretty much every week. You pretty much get the idea. So let's just get into it. At number 12 for the first week of power rankings, and this is just our opinion. I don't know what else it would be, but we have the Serbian Scrafties. Now, this is the team coached by my little brother, Matthew, and I will say I think it's pretty obvious that they are by far the worst team this week. They lost to me, and I had no idea what I was doing, mostly because they had even less of an idea what they were doing, which is kind of sad. Uh, Again, he has a singles team that he's playing doubles with, and he didn't really use anything that would benefit him in doubles. He kind of just attacked me and hoped it would work. For example, in our last match, I forgot to Dynamax until like the very end of the match, and I still won. Um, he did not know that you could have. He didn't know that you could have. He didn't know that you had to have individual items on like each Pokemon in doubles. Like he thought you could just have the same items on everything. So he had to make a few last second adjustments after I told him that. So that might be why he ran like Choice Scarf Tapu Koko, for example. But
Really? I
um
didn't know that.
well yeah, he didn't know that. So I honestly didn't know that either until half an hour beforehand. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I'd say Matthew and I's matches were probably the worst out of everyone's after looking at everyone's. So just because it was by far the worst match on both sides. Oh yeah, he also didn't know that Rillaboom's grass move ignores abilities, so he could have just killed Shedinja whenever he wanted. And he didn't.
Which also you didn't know, but
Well, I also didn't. Yeah,
anyhow.
but hey, I won, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And then he also, now that I think about it, has two Pokemon that don't really work together at all because the whole thing is they both set terrains, and there only can be one terrain up at a time. So bring both of
I
them.
mean he can bring in both. Like last season there were two top teams everywhere and such, but he lead with both of them. Rillaboom didn't have the terrain. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
what was the game plan there?
I think that was a, I think that was another mistake. I mean, with Matthew, you never 100% know what's going on up there, but I think that was another mistake. Um, but I mean, overall, again, he doesn't know anything about doubles. Like I don't know anything about doubles either, so I can't really blame him. Especially the first week. I think his team could get better as the year goes along if he learns anything about his team. But yeah, for right now, I think 12 is a pretty solid rank.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a learning experience for a few people. Last season we had some people new to singles. This season we have some people new to doubles.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like
yeah, I would say the people are learning like every game. They're saying, "Oh, that works like that." Okay, or they're learning. They're getting better. I mean, even if it's just the first week, I saw some promising plays, promising prep from people.
yeah,
So yeah, I think he can get better. The team is not great, but it's also not bad. Like Tapu Koko, Rillaboom are great doubles mons, and so is Droldon, as we will see soon. So like team has solid strats, but like he had Rillaboom without the terrain. I would say if he was willing to give up one terrain, that should have been Tapu Koko's electric terrain, not the Rillaboom's terrain to set up Grassy Glide.
yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional or like a mistake, which we can't be sure. Still,
But yeah, and also I think like you said before, there were people that were new to singles last year and they learned as they went along. Like Red and Spec were both new to singles. So yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of their turn to actually know what they're doing and everyone else's turn to kind of figure it out, which you can do by watching replays. Just don't watch me and Matthews because you won't learn a single damn thing. Moving on, we have at number 11, we have Yoen, the Kansas City Keldios, who were up against Fuzzlekins, I believe, right?
Yep.
The match ended in 2 out of 3 games. I should mention that Matthew lost in 2 out of 3 games as well.
No, it
And
ended in two out of. It ended in two games. We had the extra one for not
yeah,
spoiling.
I said 2 out of 3. That's what I said.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you're
Okay,
chill.
while you are talking about that, I'll get my charger.
Yeah, sounds good. So there were definitely some interesting strategies employed by Yeo in this game. Simple beam onto the Blastoise, I thought was pretty genius with the Shell Smash. It just ended up being that there wasn't enough redirection at the end to make sure that Dazzling Gleam missed. I'm not quite sure. There was some controversy around that. I saw them talking in the chat about it, but I'm not. There was some kind of controversy around that Dazzling Gleam. It might have crit or max rolled or something. I kind of forget, but he did pull out some interesting strategies. It wasn't necessarily like he was just attacking, kind of flailing around. But in the game, he ended up taking a solid 2-0 loss. And Togekiss was a big reason to blame for that, which we'll talk about more later. Okan, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, he had some solid strats. Like his team is not great, not terrible. He has some strats going on, but I would say he was pretty weak against Togekiss. His only good Togekiss answer was, I think, other than Blastoise, he had no good answers to Togekiss. And yeah, Togekiss crit a lot, but it was super luck Togekiss, so that's kind of normal, understandable.
Yeah,
So it can't be like, yeah, you should have been upset about it because like some of that crits mattered a lot, but uh, she chose super luck for that crit. Like she could have gone Saving Grace as well. Other than that, yeah, Togekiss following me Volt a lot. Buzzwole could have had Poison Jab, for example. That could have helped. Or, Blastoise could have come early with Ice Beam.
yeah.
Maybe Mudsdale could have come with Heavy Slam or something.
I
So,
thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a good idea bringing the Max Airstream too on Buzzwole just to get like the natural
definitely,
Dragon Dance to kill something with it. You get
definitely,
the
definitely.
1.5 speed
Uh,
attack, and with Buzzwole, that's insanely good already.
but when that's your main option to hit Togekiss, which is can be physically defensive, and Buzzwole is not the strongest one yet. Like it has good attack. I'm not sure what it is actually. Let me check. It's not the strongest one, and it's not gonna. Yeah, it's 140 attack, so it's strong. One of the strongest one, but still, like it's not a stab. It's not a super effective attack, so it's not gonna do that much to
It won't
Togekiss.
one shot essentially.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It didn't even two shot, I think.
Yeah,
So that's kind of a problem. Togekiss was the main issue, and he didn't had too much for the Togekiss Urshifu lead. Like Urshifu is already a great threat.
yep, I'll admit.
It can do so much, and when you didn't have much to that, when you and he didn't also had like neither offensive or defensive answers to Togekiss, because Togekiss Air Slash was hitting two of the most super effective. Dazzling Gleam had no resists and was hitting two of the most super effective. And I think the prep was really bad around that. Like he he had to Dynamax Buzzwole against the Togekiss.
Yeah,
That's never great. I think even with the Dynamics, even without the crits, Air Slash could have done at least a half. It would have been a two hit KO at worst. So I think the prep was kind of questionable. Again, like simple beam stuff. Okay, that's cute. That's fun. But you need to have some sort of prep for that. Yeah, his plan was, I think, set up screens with Grimmsnarfer, so it wouldn't deal that much. It wouldn't take that much damage. But yeah, it's not easy.
yeah,
Uh, so I would say I think prep was bad there. And he played against one of the better teams, one of the best teams, and a good coach. So let's hope he will improve in the following weeks. But I'm pretty hopeful. I mean, he didn't. The prep wasn't great, but again, it was a doubles prep. It was his first time, and I think he did well. he
Yeah.
had some, plans going on at least.
And I will say, next week he's a pretty soft matchup. He's playing me. So if there's anybody you would want to rebound against, from a bad loss, it's playing against me. So if you, if you want to see what
Yeah, game
happens,
of the week. Game of the week.
yeah, exactly. It's that. So again, you took your loss against a good team. Now you have a chance to see what you do against the bad team next week against me. Coming up next, we have the Charleston Charizards with Spencer, who always looks forward to these power ranking videos. Thank you for watching, Spencer.
Yeah,
Hope,
our greatest viewer.
yes, exactly. Our most
I think
loyal.
him and Sam, right? They are the ones watching and making the comments are the most.
I'm pretty sure. I think I commented on one of them one time, but regardless,
Like,
Okan, you
yeah.
definitely know more about this match than I do. You can definitely go into further depth in this match than I have so far.
Okay, I think he was another one of the players not knowing much about doubles,
And it was 2-0,
but
by
I
the way.
think,
It
yeah,
was 2.
it was 2-0, yeah. I mean, he earthquaked with Draco Zolt again once while being next to what the Gigalit. So
Yeah.
he hit his own Gigalit, and he didn't have much against the Duraludon. Duraludon just one shots everything after getting the trick room and destroyed everything in the trick room after the weakness policy. So uh, the thing is, I think he could have brought, like, for example, the trick room was set. Duraludon is slower than everything. Why would you bring Urshifu and Dynamax it when you could have gone into the Quagsire and Yawn stuff, or go to Quagsire and Dynamax Quagsire with Earth Power, get the special defense buffs? He had some stuff. Like, I think this is more like lack of experience in the
Yeah.
format. So these criticisms, like, people should take this
Chris.
critics criticism with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not trying to be judgy or something. Like, I know some people are using the format for the first time, so, like, take this as a teaching moment. I don't know how to say that. So yeah, especially dynamics is important in this format. So you need to figure out how you will dynamics. You need to preserve your dynamics bonds. You need to play around your opponent's dynamics as well. You need to figure out, sometimes you can just stall out your opponent's dynamics. Sometimes you can just, stall out, or just try to kill that first. It depends. For example, like, defensive dynamics like Lapras generally get played around. You kill everything else and just let Lapras be, or for Duraludon, something like that. You have to stop that immediately.
Agreed.
It depends. So you need to, I mean, you should know that. Yeah, Lapras is generally should be ignored because, like, it's not that strong unless it's a weakness policy Lapras.
Right.
Uh,
I think so far from what I've learned in this format is that it seems like it's very like singular event centric. Like if somebody gets a single setup, the game's over in their favor. So I
I
think
mean, no, you shouldn't think of it like that. We will see in my game. We will see in my game, and
yeah,
I got destroyed in the second game early on with some hacks. I still won't. Like,
that's fair.
it you can play around stuff, and you should play around stuff. Like, some games can, if there's no experience, you can't see sometimes your outs and play around, play according to that. You need to be able to, I mean, it's the same in singles, right? Sometimes you sack what seems to be your most important one to sweep with another one.
Sure.
It's kind of about knowing your outs, and in doubles it can be difficult. I mean, for example, some people just use all the same ones in both games or three games. That's also about experience. For example, when I prepped. Okay, I'm gonna lead this game one. I'm gonna lead the other thing in game two, and in game three, I'm just gonna check the first two games what he brought, and then I'll play accordingly. So, like, this is a kind of experience. So I think the main problem with Spencer was the experience thing. Other than that, for example, he wasn't that knowledgeable on the doubles formats. Like I wouldn't, for example, I would have used high horsepower and Draco's ult, not Earthquake. He had no flying type, so Earthquake was gonna hit all of his mon and two of them super effective. So I wouldn't use Earthquake, for example. That those kind of stuff. It you or no? It was Yevan. I saw his team before, and he had Surf on Blastoise, for example.
Right.
Surf also hits your Pokemon.
True.
So like it's just experience. This kind of stuff you wouldn't know if you never played it or if you never watched it. I think the same goes to Spencer. Spencer actually like the prep is kind of okay considering how much he know. He didn't play terribly. I'm not sure if he knew Earthquake was gonna hit the Gigalith, for example. But yeah, he could have, for example, the bad prep about it, for example, I think was Regigigas. He brought bulky Regigigas. Regigigas is the offensive one in this format. He should have been faster than everything, Dynamax, and slow things down. That's the whole strategy. You know, you should have been unkillable with Weezing being the easy to kill mount,
Right.
basically. So yeah, with the experience, I think he'll get better. Good luck to him this week against me. But I'll forgive Alpha. After this week, I can start helping him as well. I've been salty with him for drafting Regigigas. But yeah, it's gonna pass after this week, buddy.
Oh, Regigigas is pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
It's
pretty
like
good.
if you have
Like
like
without the ability, it has 160 attack, I think, 100 base speed. Yeah, 160 attack, 100 speed, 110, 10, 10 bulk. So it's like unkillable strong mon.
does it work with like Dynamax? Like, can you Dynamax it and it'll still be
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. It's
that's
super strong in Dynamax, and Max Strike, the normal type, slows down everything. So you always go faster.
that's insane. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Jesus. Okay, well, I do not want to play him in the future because that will actually destroy my.
Bring your ghost types basically. I mean, it has dark coverage, but at least
I
you
think
can
my
play
only
around.
ghost type is a Shadow.
The
So
about yeah. Oh yeah, that wouldn't work with nine. Weezing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
but like the thing about that is you have to kill Weezing. You don't have to touch Regigigas. It's like Lapras thing. You
right,
can
because if
kill
you kill
Weezing and
Weezing,
then they are able to come back.
well, yeah, that's the thing, and one of them has to die, right? So you get to
Yeah,
attack something. So
exactly.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so moving on, we have this is probably the lowest you're ever gonna see Sam in anything, or the Orlando
Yeah,
Apollotoads.
I'm pretty sure next week he will learn everything about doubles and he will start winning all the games.
Yep.
Sam is a
So
smart dude.
yep. So, really just savor this moment while you still can. Sam at 9, all of you who are above him being above him, this will never happen again. So just, enjoy the moment while it lasts. It's kind of what I would say about this. And also enjoy him getting swept, I believe, correct?
So he got one kill.
I'm saying not swept, like 2-0. Not he didn't win a game.
Yeah, he got two of that, but he got one kill.
Yes.
I think he had some questionable prep. For example, I wouldn't bring the what you would call the Venusaur and Mudsdale team against the team with Venusaur and Charizard,
Yeah.
because you're not having the advantage in the sun. Both team has Venusaur. I mean, yeah, Gigantamax Venusaur is slightly better than Dynamax. Not that great. Venusaur Gigantamax deals damage every turn. Dynamax sets the grassy terrain,
Right.
so it's like a little bit better, but not that great. And we in Dynamax in Sun, Charizard just deals insane damage. So I think, like he has, for example, Tapu Fini, and Tapu Fini, I think, 2-hit KO'd by Max Flare, fire type move in Sun. So like that's not great, you know.
Well, I'm pretty sure the entire team that Sam brought in game 2 got OHKO'd by something that Charizard had,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
well, maybe not Ninetales. Ninetales might not have by Max Airstream, but in the Sun, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Because he brought
Exactly.
Ninetales, Feeny, Scrafty, and Venusaur in game 2, I believe,
Yeah.
which all get one shot by. There's Megazard in the Sun. Like, it seemed to me from the teams that both of them sent out that Sam never really had a chance in game 2, just judging
Yeah,
from.
yeah. The prep was kind of. If I were Sam, I would have tried to go the slower options. I would have tried to go with Trick Room against that team. Like he had the opponent has a great team. You know, it could have played easily Trick Room with Regirock and Hatterene as well. But I think he had better options in Trick Room than the outside of Trick Room. And for example, the questionable play was while inside Trick Room, he could have brought Persian to fake out, and Venusaur could have attacked to Regirock, but he brought Sun. He brought Ninetales and Venusaur. Both are faster. Like uh, Venusaur in Sun is faster than everything. Ninetales is already fast and frail.
Yeah.
So why not bring Persian fake out and then bring the one of them after the trick room is over. Try to stall out. This is one of the things. Like in doubles, you need to be able to stall things out. You need to be able to. I mean, yeah, it would have been hard. I think it's near impossible again, but it wasn't. The plays weren't optimal. Like he's also just new to this, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he will get better next week or the week after. I have faith in Sam.
I think that it's usually a good idea to bet on Sam in the long term. Now, coming up on someone who it's never a good idea to bet on because they suck. Never mind. I did not mean that. I thought Paul was next.
It should be.
Yeah, I thought he should be next, shouldn't he? Wait, hold up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Paul.
Paul,
Paul
this
should
is
be next.
Paul. Let's say this is Paul.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I ranked him sixth.
I swear I must have like mixed him up because I think. Okay, you know what? Whatever, whatever. We'll just talk about Paul later. We'll get to him later.
Okay,
Paul
okay.
is actually eighth, but with number 7 or
Spencer too. You should have been number 6. So this is my game. I would say I hexed. I got hexed a lot,
right.
but still, he had good prep and he played well. He played into his outs like he should have. Ice beam froze me in both of the last games, and he got in one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has. For example, you can check his team. He has a slow as fuck team. So he's a trick room team here,
Yeah.
and he still Dynamax Cinderace in both games. He didn't try to sweep with Cinderace. He tried to weaken me, and then tried to sweep with one of his trick room mons. In the first game, he got the kind of sweep with the Cinderace, mainly because my I think the something froze in the first game. Who froze?
I don't remember, but Ice Beam definitely froze somebody. I'm pretty sure it
Wait.
was though.
In the first game, I died to. Let me see. No, not here. Ice switch, still spike. I think I got ice froze. Yeah, yeah. Ice beam froze my Dynamax.
Yeah.
I should
Oh,
have
okay.
had +1/+1. Think the what you would call Cobalion, and
Yeah.
Cobalion could have won there.
Yeah. I remember
Because
being
like
frustrated watching
it's
that.
super effective against all of them, and it's not taking that much damage. And I would have max steel to get another defense boost, so it would have been even the yeah. So that game is yeah, he played into his outs. That was I think no, he didn't try to freeze with ice beam, but getting the trick room was his out, and he played according to that. And in the second game, I think he didn't. He tried to use the same strategy to win. Oops. He tried to use the same strategy to win, and I had. Wait, no music. Sorry, I'm watching the replay, and it was too loud.
I can't hear it, so you're chilling.
Yeah, yeah, you're chilling, but it was burning my ears. So for example, he saw the burning jealousy, which made him think like again another game. Kobalion did nothing; it died before setup and died.
Yep.
I didn't use my dynamics. He saw the burning jealousy and he still makes air streams. I think that was his mistake. That lost him the game. He
Right.
had one huge misplay, I think, because after the Cinderace got burnt, his damage output was really, really limited, which let me set up the Cobalion and sorry, the Blastoise and swipe with it.
Mhm.
Into third game, he didn't have much against Blastoise because Blastoise after a Shell Smash can two hit KO Gastrodon, and I think only thing taking hits were Gastrodon on his side, and I also had Fake Tears support. So I think he expected a really different team from me. I think I used mainly my what you would call second tier mons, not the Dragapult colossal stuff.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, he didn't expect these months coming, this team coming, so that's affected him a little bit. But other than that, he played the first game, and I think he played the third game pretty well. I would say he had a few mistakes in the second game. Uh,
Makes sense.
yeah, overall, good games. He'll get better. He won't get better. He will, like just bounce back.
Be as
I'll
good.
say,
I will
yeah,
say,
he's good.
watching this game, this is the first replay I watched, and I was like, "Oh God, I'm screwed." Because you guys both played really well. I think it's clear that if he was playing somebody like me or somebody like one of us that's inexperienced, most likely would have won that match. But he just got a bad matchup week one against
Yeah,
somebody else that also knows what he's doing, which is why even though he did lose 2-0, it's why we had him above a lot of the other players. Is because he was playing someone else that we know knows what they're doing, and he clearly had a fair amount of moves that showed he knew what he was doing too, especially with the trick room and how he drafted his team, which is why he's higher. Now, just to clarify, what rank is this actually? I think he's actually 7.
I said 6. I ranked him above you
Oh, well,
because you
okay, I
defeated
didn't do that.
Matt.
I didn't do that. Screw that. I'm 6. This guy
Okay.
back at 7. And then coming in reverse order, I wonder who it is. The man, the myth, the bum, Paul. Um, he played against Bryce, I believe. And was it 2 or 3? I actually forget with this one. I think it was.
I think it was 2. I'm not sure. Let me check.
I
Yeah,
believe.
it was 3. It was 3. He won one.
Oh yeah, I thought this one could have been 3. I couldn't remember. That was
Yeah.
part of the reason
Oh,
why.
he won the first one. Yeah, he won the first one and then he lost
Yeah.
twice in a row. But it was really close. Like Paul, I think has some experience in doubles, not too much,
Right.
but he has some. And I think he played, I would say, pretty well because
Yeah.
like he had an experienced opponent. He had actually a bad matchup. I helped him a little bit, and his team was really struggling, like with Nidoking, with Kartana. Uh, he didn't have the best options for Trick Room. He didn't have the best options. Like he had Moltres. Moltres was good against almost everything. Other
Yeah.
than that, he didn't have much. Like he has 5 electric mons, and opponent had the Nidoking and Alolan Marowak with Lightning Rod.
Sure.
So yeah, he had a bad matchup and he played it, I think, pretty well. So kudos to him. I would say what he can improve is, for example, he didn't know a few of the moves. Like Togepi was there to click follow me all the time,
Yep.
and he had this one strategy. Speed swap him with Stakataka with Raichu to make Stakataka really fast.
Yep.
Stakataka.
Deck deck.
Yeah, that's correct. Uh, so, but he speed swapped to Togepi actually because of the follow me. So like he didn't know a few of the mechanics working that ended up having a really fast Togepi on the field. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, he could have like, I guess he can get better, but I would say he actually played pretty well considering his experience and such.
Yeah.
And I would say, the prep was also good. The use of Moltres, use of Takataka, those are pretty good. I would have brought
Pretty
Comfy at
OM.
some point, which he didn't. But other than that, yeah, I would say he can get better, but good first week.
Yeah,
Close games.
for a loss, I mean that's a good takeaway from it. Being in the 7, 8, 9 tier wherever he actually is. I guess we're all just lumped together at this point, but still having like a respectable loss first week against experienced opponent is generally where you want to be if you had a loss. He also got pretty destroyed by G-Max Snorlax at the end, but we'll get more into that with Bryce's segment. And so moving on to the teams that have won now, coming in at by far the worst out of all of them, to a point where Okan ranked me 7th. I think personally, I probably should just be 6th because I'm going to fall anyway when I start losing to people. We have me. As an expert on my match, I won 2-0 against Matthew, who's the worst ranked team in the league. And I will say, I don't think I played particularly well, considering the second game I completely forgot that Dynamax existed until the last few turns where I used it and like reverse swept with a Ditto that was transformed into a Tapu Koko. That was a whole weird thing. But I had some interesting strategies, I think.
Sure,
Ally
sure.
switch,
If you
ally
say
switch
so.
or ally switch to ninja is always going to be a thing, and I tried with the weakness policy Lando T speed boost stuff. I tried with
Yeah.
that.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, that wasn't bad. Like you had some ideas going around, like okay, allies with challenge is a threat.
yeah.
Like you basically play 50-50 to every turn. Like
Hmm.
yeah, so that's always good. I mean, other than that, you have the weakness policy, which I wouldn't do against a cloister because like that I mean yeah you are one shotting it, but like it could have easily go for something else and take your land with it. Uh, you didn't know what was the item,
Yeah.
so yeah, I wouldn't do that. But you do you, and yeah, you had some stuff. What was the item on the Pheromosa sash?
I think it was life orbed actually.
I don't remember.
I don't think it did anything. I think it just died immediately, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I think it died to air max airstream, I think.
Yeah, or something. I didn't really get to use it at all. Honestly, Faramosa was like the last thing I considered bringing, just because I didn't know what else to. I wasn't even really planning on using it, and then I just kind of happened to use it in one game. I was gonna bring Naganadel and like try to do some nasty plot ally switch kind of thing with Shedinja, but I just decided not to for some reason. Um,
There's always next week.
yeah, I think Ditto is kind of underrated in doubles, honestly, just because like I don't know. I feel like Ditto is.
You
Sorry, good.
use like the switching matters for Ditto because you copy what's next to you. Like you need to be in front of the mon that's, for example, set up,
Right, right.
and yeah, that can create problems. Like you can't always get into that slot.
No, that's true.
Uh,
It's another thing because I'm gonna talk about this. Like I can talk about it now. Like I feel like most of these games are based on like I feel like at least from my experience, and you can correct me on this, that doubles like more than singles, the prep matters a lot more.
yeah,
In singles, you can kind of throw together prep, and like if you're really good, like you can just kind of figure it out. In doubles, if the other opponent completely out preps you, you're gonna lose. So
yeah,
I think
exactly.
having Pokemon like Ditto or Silvally that they can't really prep for the other person bringing as well is really important because it helps you not just completely get killed in the prep,
Exactly.
which is why
I
I have
mean,
them. But
the versatile ones are generally better because for example, like I said, you general idea with the, for example, Gigantamax Lapras is it's gonna set up the whale. It's already bulky. It gets Gigantamax with double HP, and it's hard to kill, but
yeah,
it's not doing that great damage. Just try to ignore it and kill what's next to it, and then you'll deal with Lapras, right?
sure.
That's the general idea. But what if it's weakness policy Lapras? What if it's life or Lapras?
Yeah.
Like uh, if it has that kind of versatility, it's hard to play against, and you can get the momentum early on with some interesting stat. For example, Frisk is generally used in singles, right, as an ability,
Yeah.
but in doubles, it's actually quite important, especially in a format like best of three. Even if you don't lose, you can get information enough to get better in the second game. You can say like, oh, this one has a southwest, so I'm not gonna bring this one, and I'm just gonna bring that one. So the information game is important in this one. Like you could have forget what the opponent's item in singles, and you could have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
100% agree. So I think having Pokemon like that is important. And I think that it's also something that like will be more prevalent as the year goes along and people figure out more things to do with their Pokemon and not just the first thing that you look up on like Smogon. Because I know that's basically what I did for most of my Pokemon. So that'll be interesting to see as we go along.
Exactly.
Uh, and moving on to number 5, we have Ryan, who played against Spencer. It was 2-0, like I said before. And Okan was kind of the aficionado on these matches, so you can get back into
I
it.
mean, I kind of feel bad ranking Ryan fifth, but the Draldon just swept. Like he
Yeah.
didn't do much. Draldon was helping hand attack, and Draldon just swept.
It's
Uh,
almost like a team like a football team like Bama. It's like they kind of blow people out, so you don't really know how good they are until they get in a close game, and you can kind of see what they're really working with there.
yeah,
Um, so I
I
think
think
that's probably
I think he used 2 months in one game and 3 months in the other one, if
yeah,
I'm not sure. So like we didn't see what he prepped that much. I think he took care of the his opponent's lack of knowledge pretty well. But
yeah,
uh, I think the reason I ranked him lower than the other teams is the other teams play against more knowledgeable. Let's not say better, but more knowledgeable opponents, and they at least had to show their teams more than he did, because like I said, in one game just wrote on those clubs. In the other one, I think we saw a little bit Herdier. Yes, we saw Herdier. So basically, the games ended really quickly to see what he has done, what he was capable of. But yeah, he played pretty well, I would say. Well done to him. Good prep, good use of the Gigantamax and Dusclops. I think Dusclops showed why it's tier one. It's like
yeah,
just sit there, set the trick room, help the slow month. So
yeah.
yeah, not much to say. We already talked about it a little bit in Spencer's game.
Yeah, so it's not as actually as much of a knock on him, like using that strategy being 5. It's just that we would, you want to see more before you rank someone that high, and because his prep was so good, we didn't really get to see enough. As backwards as that is, but
I mean, like his prep was okay, but I wouldn't call it his prep was so great that that happened. It's
that's
just the opponent had no answers to Draldon Dusclops, which they should have. They had the answers, but they didn't know. Like I checking the team against the team with Orshifu Dark. Yeah, he had the Dark one, right?
yeah,
I think. Uh, it has the matchup against both Dusclops and Draldon,
yeah,
so he could have stopped it.
that's
You
true.
know, that's the experience. So that's why I'm like he had the prep, but would have been that successful against another opponent. That's my point.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, so now for someone that did have a slightly better opponent, and Paul. We're talking about Bryce here, and the mascot really did come in clutch for Bryce.
Yeah,
Gigantamax Snorlax was
I
easily
think it got the berry in all uses of the
yeah,
Gigantamax move. I think it's 50%. I'm not sure. Gmax replenish, right?
yeah. That sounds right. It sounds
Yeah,
about right for
50%,
ratio too.
50%. Yes. So he
Yeah,
got it in all of them. That mattered a little bit.
yeah,
Yes, Snorlax came through. Kartana came through in the second game. Kartana is a really, really scary one in the format because like it also has the max airstream, so the
yeah,
speed was something that was generally pulling it back. Now he has the speed advantage as well. It could have at least, and I think his prep. I would have brought Alalan Marovak against. Other than that, I don't think he had any issues. But I would have brought Marovak against a team with 5 electric types. Just to stop. For example, the self wall switch thing, the for weakness policy. That was one of the main strategies of Paul. So I would have brought Marovak. Other than that, like he used Togepi pretty well, for example.
Which is a Pokemon that you don't expect normally being good, but if I remember correctly, seeing a video on Pachirisu being used in the VGC championships one year. So
Pachirisu won the
yeah,
world championship,
yeah, it won a world
and like it won. That was the main play. It wasn't like he won and Pachirisu was there. No, he won with the Pachirisu.
Yeah. So
Uh,
there are Pokemon that you won't expect being useful in other formats that, if you're smart enough, you can use them well in this format. And so I think if you see
exactly.
something like a Togepi or something that you don't know why it's good, I think that's something that you have to be extra scared of
Yeah.
because
Like
they
for
brought it.
example, there are 2 months that are not used in doubles almost ever, which are pretty great when all the Uber months are allowed. Jinx and Toxic Rock. They both have Storm Drain, so they can stop Kyurem.
Right.
Scarf Kyurem just water spotting. So like there are some mons that are
Even
good in
Kyogre, by the way.
certain meta games. Oh, what did I say?
You did Kyurem. I think you meant
Oh,
Kyogre.
so I mean Kyogre. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're kidding.
So like for example, Toxic Rock also is good against Zornias and such. Like they have some uses, so like they are good when Ubers are around. Like interesting, like right? So that's what I like about this format. Like there are some really stupid mons like Togepi, which can be really effective. Like he has Clefairy as well. Both are single, fairy types.
Yeah.
But Togepi is actually better.
Which is
Interesting.
hilarious.
Yeah, which is hilarious, right?
And that's kind of where you see the difference in experience, right? Like somebody like me or Matthew would never have drafted Tug P in our lives because we just have no idea. So I think it'll be interesting to see as the season goes along as other coaches kind of pick up on what other coaches are doing. Almost like in the NFL, it's a copycat league that they always say it's a copycat league. So we'll see if other coaches are going to start to see the replays of more experienced players like Bryce and kind of implement that into their game plans. But moving on with some more of the more experienced players, we have you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So
So
you can talk about how
okay,
your rank went,
yeah,
obviously.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud. Like we talked about it. I got really hexed. I think there was no hex in the game 3, but the game 1 and game 2 were really hexy.
Yeah, it was bad.
I got frozen, paralyzed. Like Para didn't move, and especially in the second game, I'm more proud of my second game because like I Dynamax set up the Cobalion and Cobalion died before doing anything. I lost my Dynamax Mon without doing anything. At least in the first one, it
Yeah.
like absorbed some damage and dealt some damage. But in the second game, it did nothing, and I won that game. So I'm proud of it a little bit.
I mean, usually when
Blastoise
your
did,
Dynamax Mon goes down like that, you're gonna lose. Most
yeah.
of the yeah.
I would say Blastoise was the main offensive threat this week for me. While I had actually I planned for Cobalion and Palossand to be my offensive threats. I think Blastoise ended up working. That's another thing I'm calling about, like more versatility, more prep stuff, because my main idea was either I will set up Palossand with Exalgor, which
Right.
I would have done if there's no Gastrodon stopped that strategy from going around, and the other one died with if you were just Trick Room team and he didn't have Cinderace going big, he couldn't have deal with the Cobalion, for example. So he also, like, my opponent was pretty good, but like I said, in the second game, the mistake of him just going for another max airstream to get speed and getting burned with Burning Jealousy was I think the main reason he lost.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, he also could have. He shouldn't paralyzed Blastoise, so he could have burned it. I guess.
I'm
No, he could have. He could have phrased it again.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
really do
I'm
much
kidding.
there,
I'm
but
kidding you. I'm kidding you. But I think my support ones also did pretty well this week. Uh, the both Persian and Aromatisse.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm really proud of this week's. I think my second game proves that, like, as good as Dynamax, as important as it is, you can still win without it. You just need to play around, and you just need to know what you can do against opposing uh, Dynamax, how you can stall it out. Uh, like for example, in the second game, he Dynamaxed the third game. Sorry, he Dynamaxed the Ice Horse Glass Trier,
right,
and I didn't attack that because if I proc a weakness policy while the Trick Room was still out, I lost.
right.
Or at the end of the game, I didn't proc. I didn't know what had the weakness policy. I don't remember. It's either Glass Trier or the Poison Dragon.
Mm, oh, yeah,
Drago.
the
What do
Dragology.
you call it? Dragalge? Yeah,
Yeah, Dragology.
Dragalge. Sorry for my memory. It's after
No,
work day.
you're good.
So Dragalge is, so I didn't, for example, Earth Power Dragalge because it could have been weakness policy. It's already specially bulky, so it could have killed everything with, Draco Meteor.
Yeah,
So like playing around stuff is important. Like you have less time than singles. No game is gonna go 40 turns, 50 turns,
right.
uh, barely over 10 turns actually. So you have limited time, but you can still play around stuff. You can still learn stuff. The thing is, don't getting information in the first game is more important than winning the first game, I would say, in the best of three format. So I don't know why I'm still trying to teach my opponents.
Well,
Forget everything I said while playing against me.
I will say too, it's not that less is happening, it's that more is happening at the same time instead of over
Yeah,
a bunch of turns, you know? So,
exactly.
I think just because you're down doesn't mean you can't make things happen. You just got to make them happen quick. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah. So speaking of people that made things happen, number two we have Fuzzlekins with the Windsor Wigglytuffs in a relatively dominant win. I would say pretty dominant win over Yewin. Um, and I'm gonna be honest. I think the main thing that we got to be scared of on this team is definitely going to be Togekiss.
Yeah,
Uh,
Togekiss is one of the best support mons, and she just had like great mons to support as well. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think, and also, I mean, the fact that it was as dominant as it was this week in a way that I didn't even know it could be used. You always assume Togekiss is going to be Serene Grace, Flinch Hacks. Even it could use Max Airstream to boost speed if it wanted to, if it Dynamaxed, and then go for Flinch Hacks after it's get back to normal. But even with Super Luck, it managed to put in a lot of work against a team that didn't really have too many answers for it. Um, Especially with the Buzzwole being the Pokemon that ended up getting Dynamaxed and with Super Luck. But I think the scariest thing about Togekiss this week is that it put in a ton of work, and this isn't even the set that you think of when you. I mean, it's a viable set in doubles, but it's not even the
In the
set that you
doubles,
think
it is the set you think when you
of. Really.
think about it. Yeah,
Hmm.
because like you want to be able to do damage. Like with Dazzling Gleam, for example, it doesn't have Moonblast, so it has to run Dazzling Gleam.
Right.
And Dazzling Gleam is not gonna do that much damage. The double moves do less damage, right?
Yeah.
Like Dazzling Gleam, if it hits both of them, it's gonna do less than it
It's
would
not
do
50 though,
normally.
right? It's like 75% or something.
75, yeah, 75%. No, 66. I'm not sure.
It's like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So uh, because of that, I would say, uh, when you run crits, you can still do damage. Like if the opponent Dynamax, you can still do damage with the crit. You can get fast, and then you can keep doing the damage because you're not gonna flinch stall anything. It doesn't matter, like you're not gonna flinch stall anything because the other one can also attack.
Yeah.
The second chance is not that important. In the singles, you can Thunder Wave, Air Slash, and then opponent can be helpless. That's not gonna happen in doubles. You can't follow me, ally switch, or just the other one can attack.
Right.
So that's why super luck is more useful. And I would say I think she prepped pretty well because like her leads. I mean, you could the expected lead actually when you think about it, but Urshifu Togekis in the first game, the opponent has no answer to that. I don't see two mons that can like he already had barely a Togekis answer, but when you pair it with the Urshifu, there were no answers to that.
Yeah.
So I think she prepped pretty well. She played pretty well. I don't remember her making like a big mistake or something. Uh, the Yeah, overall I would say I think she great game. I don't see anything to criticize. I guess that was it.
Yeah, and I will say again, it kind of speaks to prep being a lot more decisive in this game. With it being, you could see from the teams that they both sent out that Togekiss was going to have a good game just based on the Pokemon that they brought, and you could see that Togekiss was going to dominate based on that. So I think again, prep matters a lot more in this year than it did last year. So definitely getting on prep more so is going to be a big thing for me. Hopefully, and this match can kind of show you what happens when you prep really well for a match. So finally, with the first ranked team and the team that's going to have a target on their back from now on, we have the Seattle Gyarados coached by Red. Yeah,
Yeah,
so Red has always been a more experienced double player than a singles player, and he was playing kind of like a new format last year, which is why his team may have been lower in the rankings. But this year, I mean, it's pretty clear that he's in his element.
yeah, I can say he played near flawlessly. I don't remember something I would say. Okay, I wouldn't do that. I think I remember one time he just ignored Venusaur. I wouldn't ignore Venusaur. I
Yeah,
would have just attacked, kill it, set my wildfire. But other than that, like that, but though that was my personal opinion. So he didn't play it wrong. He just played different than what I would have done. But like he had Hatterini, he could have easily set the trick room or something, and he saw the Alakazam. It could have done the same to reverse the trick room. So he played around it. Like he, for example, what I said before, having different leads and having different options every game. In the first game, he went with heavy trick room with both psychic types and Regirock. In the other game, he went with the Venusaur Charizard stuff. So I think he played pretty great. He prepped pretty great. I don't I don't remember what was the Milotic set. I think it was a bulky adrenaline orb set, which makes sense against two intimidates the Sam has had. I think it would have come if the Lando was there. But again, I don't think Milotic was a good bring this week against a Sun team with Venusaur, against a team with Tapu Fini.
that's fair.
Like Milotic doesn't do anything that I wouldn't bring it, but I guess it was a Lando counter. Maybe he never planned to bring Milotic. He just wanted to scare off the Lando because Scarf Lando or a Southwest Lando could have been dangerous for this team.
Right.
So yeah, I think considering he could have done have Milotic just as a deterrent, then yeah, that's a good prep. That's a great prep.
Right.
So yeah, great job. Whoever plays him next should be scared. Uh,
You know,
Congrats, buddy.
I'll add on to why specifically we put him first. There's a multitude of reasons. First of all, it's like who he beat in the fashion that he did it. Obviously, Sam is new to doubles, but he was the champion of the league last year. I've been playing. I've been playing leagues with Sam for our ratio or the Atlanta Apollos for however long, at least 6 years, and I don't think I've ever seen him get absolutely dominated like that. Even though it is a new format in
I did
Pokemon.
once.
I think maybe I've seen it once or twice. But point being, you really don't see him lose like that very often. And also the fact that like you were saying, Okan, Red could have won in a variety of ways. I mean, he could
Yeah.
have won. He could have beaten Sam in a variety of different ways this week. This wasn't the only path he could have taken. If he had brought something else, then Reds still had a chance to win. I think you could say with other wins that some of their wins were circumstantial. If something different had happened, you don't know what would have happened. But in this game, it feels like no matter what would have happened, Reds still would have beaten the Orlando Apollo Toads, who
Yeah.
were a former champion. And
And
so
my game
that
could have
tells,
gone, pretty differently. Like,
yeah,
uh, I won, but at the right time, the luck was my own side. I think the Bryce game, yeah, the luck was on his side. He could have lost there. I think the most convincing wins are this one and Ryan's one.
what,
Even the
yeah,
Fuzzlekin one, the Blastoise at the end could have done some stuff
yeah.
with the simple beam.
And I mean, not to mention it was a 2-0, and I believe he was top tier in our preseason power rankings as
Yeah,
well. So there's really nothing you could say that would not make him one, which is why he is one. So, like you were saying, him and Ryan had the most dominant wins. And while his was for a variety of reasons, Ryan's was for one main reason, and that was because of the MVP of this week, Duraludon again, who for some reason seems to love week one. I don't know what it is about week
yeah.
one, but Duraludon seemed to love it. They start the year out strong. You know what I mean?
At
It's
least this time I'm not at the receiving end of it.
yeah,
Yeah, it was against me last season. Yeah, it did great. It was like unstoppable.
it was so good that we had to rank Ryan lower because we didn't even see anything else other than this thing sweeping entire teams and taking lives. So it was so good that it somehow got him ranked lower, which I still don't really get, but whatever. Uh,
Ryan, yeah,
Definitely, and the name's on point. I love the name Tower Defense. I think it's pretty funny. For all y'all playing Bloons growing up, Bloons Tower Defense. I'm a Bloons Tower Defense 4 guy myself, but whatever suits your need. He definitely was like a super monkey, and those were a bunch of balloons, and he was just popping them. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but he's just popping all the balloons one by one. That's basically what happened this week. Okan, do you have any final comments?
yeah, Droldon was great. Ryan did well with him. That's all I would say.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
hope to see y'all next week in the power rankings. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Pinterest, LinkedIn, uh uh what else, what other like random obscure social media is there? Like follow my Vine account, if you want, TikTok. I'm on TikTok now.
you
Get
are
my album on SoundCloud, and have fun listening to me
enough.
next week. Yeah,
That's
when
enough.
you have a good time.